Have you ever paused in the middle of your busy day and wondered which thoughts truly govern your heart and mind? Take a moment to reflect on that question before you read any further, because it might reveal what you hold most dear. I want you to consider how the focus of your mind shapes your life, the way you interact with others, and your relationship with me. Allow me to guide you through a deeper understanding of how your thoughts, worries, and hopes influence the devotion of your heart. Take a deep breath and let these words settle in your soul. I speak to you with love, longing for you to experience the freedom and peace that come from placing your trust in me above all else. I see how easily your mind can become consumed with worries and anxieties. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, your first thoughts might revolve around everything you think is going wrong in your life. The tasks you haven't completed, the unmet expectations, and the weight of your responsibilities. In those moments, fear can tighten its grip on your heart. You might find yourself focusing on the things you dread rather than the abundant possibilities I place before you. When you allow fear, worry, and regret to take center stage, you unwittingly give them an authority in your life that was never meant to be theirs. This is how worries gain a foothold, multiplying and growing until they seem too large to overcome. Yet I am here to tell you that there is a better way, one that leads to freedom, renewal, and deep joy. I invite you to worship me by directing your thoughts toward the vastness of my presence. When fear knocks at the door of your mind, you can meet it with trust. By choosing to believe that I am in control and that I always have a purposeful plan for your life, you remove the power that worry tries to hold over you. Think of it as taking a step out of darkness into light. The shadows of anxiety fade when faced with the truth of my loving care. Even in your most challenging trials, I never leave your side. I understand how difficult life can feel, and I know you have questions that seemingly have no answers. But remember this: your thoughts are fully visible to me, and I search within them for even the smallest seed of trust. When I find that trust, I nurture it until it flourishes into a vibrant faith. Sometimes, you may feel as though no one in the world sees or understands your hidden struggles. You might attend to your daily tasks with a smile on your face, all the while carrying silent burdens in your heart. People see the surface of your life, but I see deeper. I see every concern, every hope, every secret you keep locked away. Nothing escapes my notice. When you feel alone or misunderstood, remember that I am intimately aware of the things that weigh you down. This is why I ask you to guard your thoughts diligently. The inner battles you fight can shape your character, your emotions, and ultimately, your actions. When you learn to align your thoughts with my truth, you find a wellspring of strength that no earthly source can provide. I encourage you to question the idols that may lurk in the corners of your mind. An idol isn't always a physical object. It can be a recurring fear, an obsession with success, or an unending pursuit of approval. Anything that grows so large in your thoughts that it overshadows my place in your life becomes an idol. Breaking free from this bondage might seem overwhelming, but it begins with a simple choice. Recognize what has taken root in your heart, and then invite me into that space. The moment you welcome my presence into your worries, they lose their power. You can say to yourself, I will trust in the one who holds the entire universe in loving hands. That shift in perspective releases you from captivity to anxiety and places you securely under my care. As you center your thoughts on me, you begin to experience my peace. This isn't a fleeting sense of calm that fades when circumstances become difficult. It is a deep, abiding assurance that defies logic. It speaks to your soul even in the storms of life, reminding you that I remain in control. When you trust in my presence, you are less inclined to seek temporary escapes or distractions. Instead, you find true rest by knowing that your life is watched over by a power greater than any adversity. This kind of peace becomes your steady companion especially in moments when the world seems to crumble. It empowers you to remain hopeful, patient, and gentle with others because you no longer feel threatened by the unknown. I encourage you to view each new day as an opportunity to lean more fully into trust. Each sunrise is a testament to the constancy of my care, a reminder that no matter how the earth turns, my love remains unchanged. As you wake up, instead of letting your mind become a playground for anxious thoughts, train yourself to focus on hope. Make space for gratitude, for the blessings, large and small, that decorate your life. Recognize that even in hardship, there is a chance for growth. When you approach life with that posture, you'll discover that trust becomes an active, living element in your spiritual journey. It colors your interactions, your decisions, and your internal dialogues. It infuses your heart with the awareness that you are never alone. Now let me assure you of something wonderful that runs counter to the logic of a world defined by mortality. I am making everything new. In a world where everything seems to break down, decay, and lose its luster, my promise of renewal offers an unparalleled source of hope. Indeed, the world around you experiences death, pain, and loss, but I am not limited by these broken conditions. I hold the power to bring about transformation that goes beyond mere improvement. What I have planned for your future is far more glorious than a simple upgrade of your current circumstances. I promise a complete and total renewal that touches every aspect of creation, including the hidden parts of your heart that ache for perfection and wholeness. It might feel paradoxical to celebrate the passing of days when you know that human life is finite, but if you could see through eternal eyes, you would realize that each step you take in time brings you closer to everlasting joy. When you lay your head down to rest each night, you can whisper to yourself, "I am one step closer to my promised future." Through this lens, the brevity of life becomes a poignant reminder of the eternity that awaits you. Instead of mourning the swift passage of time, let your heart rejoice that you are drawing nearer to a life unburdened by decay and sorrow. This shift in perspective transforms your relationship with time. You no longer see each day as something to endure, but as a progression toward a future bursting with unimaginable beauty and peace. The world is indeed in a dire state. Brokenness is evident in every corner, from the suffering of humanity to the destruction of the environment. Conflict, disease, and injustice plague the human story, revealing just how deeply the seeds of discord have been sown. You might look around and feel disheartened, wondering if your efforts to bring about any good are simply overshadowed by larger issues. Even when you strive with all your might to heal, reconcile, or improve your surroundings, the weight of the world's troubles can be overwhelming. Your best intentions can feel like a drop of water on an endless desert floor. But do not let discouragement have the final word. I see your desire to create positive change, and I honor every act of kindness you perform. However, keep in mind that the problem runs deeper than any human solution can remedy. You live in a world marred by a fall so great that only a complete restoration can heal its wounds. While your efforts matter, and I encourage you to continue doing what is right and just, recognize that you too are touched by the imperfections of this world. Your attempts to fix things might bring small measures of relief, but they can never fully erase the brokenness that pervades creation. The idea that your endeavors could save the world on their own is a crushing burden you were never designed to bear. Instead, focus on living in alignment with my will. Display kindness, seek justice, care for the vulnerable, and love those around you. These choices reflect my heart and serve as a glimpse of the coming renewal. Yet remember that your actions, though valuable, are not the ultimate solution. Complete redemption is my work, and it has already begun in ways both visible and invisible. Yes, you may improve conditions in a broken system, but lasting transformation requires more than repair. The fabric of existence has been torn, and its threads cannot be merely patched. I promise a future in which all things are remade with divine perfection. This promise is certain because my words are always trustworthy. They do not fade with time or shift with changing opinions. My faithfulness stands as a firm foundation upon which you can rest your hope. When you wonder if these assurances are real or if the future could truly be that bright, look at the steadfastness of the sun that rises each morning, at the tides that obey the moon, and at the unchanging patterns in the cosmos. All these reflect a hint of the reliability of my word. How much more will I keep my vow to renew the entirety of creation and wipe away every source of pain? Do you wonder what this renewal will be like? Imagine a world without sorrow, where relationships are restored to perfect harmony and every corner of existence radiates with life. Visualize a realm where no one suffers from the inequities of society, and every longing for love is fulfilled by an unbroken bond of unity. Picture a reality in which nature is no longer at odds with human activity, and the beauty of creation is unmarred by pollution or disaster. Your mind may struggle to grasp this concept because everything you currently know is touched by limitation and loss. Yet I assure you, the promise is not only real, but guaranteed. Every tear you shed in this life becomes a seed for the joy that awaits you in the everlasting realm I have prepared. This vision of the future is not meant to make you disengage from the present. On the contrary, it should empower you to live each day with renewed fervor. When you understand that a perfect restoration awaits, you are freed from the fear that your life might end in disappointment. Even if your labor here seems unappreciated or misunderstood, the final outcome is already determined in my plan. In that knowledge, you find the strength to persevere, to keep loving, and to keep offering kindness. You do these things not as someone fighting a losing battle, but as a participant in the story of redemption I have written for the world. Every compassionate act, every stand for justice, every word of encouragement is a reflection of the future reality that will one day flood the entire creation. I want you to find rest in the knowledge that I hold your future in my hands. Some days, you might wake up and see discouraging news, experience personal losses, or feel your heart sink under the weight of unfulfilled dreams. In those moments, it can be hard to believe that anything new is truly on the horizon. That is why I call you to a deeper trust. Instead of letting disappointment define your outlook, direct your gaze toward me. Ask for my perspective, and I will remind you that no darkness can hold back the dawn. Your personal hardships, your unmet desires, your moments of grief, all of these are temporary. While they may feel permanent in the moment, I assure you they are not the end of the story. They are chapters in a book whose final pages are written in the ink of triumphant love. When I speak of making you new, I refer not just to a surface improvement, but to a profound transformation that touches your spirit and body alike. Can you picture a version of yourself with every weakness healed and every flaw removed? That might sound incredible, or even unimaginable in a world that tells you to accept your brokenness as permanent. Yet my design is for wholeness. The path you walk now, with all its ups and downs, is part of a refining process. As you learn to depend on me, to release your fears, and to celebrate my goodness, the essence of your being is being reshaped. In every season of waiting or testing, I am working to align you with my vision of who you can become. I also long for you to enjoy my presence in the here and now. You need not wait for a future renewal to experience the warmth and comfort of closeness with me. Even as your world struggles under the weight of its brokenness, a part of my kingdom can be experienced in your daily life. When you spend time in prayer, when you meditate on my words, and when you love those around you, you step into the realm of the spiritual reality that transcends your visible circumstances. Peace, joy, and hope become your inheritance even in the midst of adversity. In this way, you become a living sign of the renewal that is to come. People around you might notice something different, a quiet, steadfast hope that no hardship can extinguish. That hope is a beacon drawing others toward the possibility of divine grace and restoration. Do not underestimate the power of your thoughts. When they are directed toward me and shaped by my promises, they become a force that changes the atmosphere of your life. The same mind that once was a host for anxious thoughts can transform into a sanctuary of gratitude and trust. This mental renewal is a critical step in preparing you for the even greater renewal I have planned. As you learn to hold my truth in your thoughts, the heaviness of despair lifts. The chains of worry fall away, replaced by the sweetness of a life anchored in trust. Over time, you come to realize that such trust is not blind or naive. Rather, it is grounded in the consistent goodness you have witnessed through my guidance and provision. I encourage you to practice seeing the good that is already blossoming in and around you. In a world filled with negative headlines, it's easy to become fixated on what is wrong. But look deeper. Each day, love is displayed in small acts that rarely make the front page. A neighbor offers comfort to someone grieving. A friend forgives a hurt without demanding repayment. A community joins together to help those in need. These everyday moments reflect my heart and signal that even now, newness is sprouting through the cracks of a broken reality. By acknowledging these small lights shining around you, you cultivate a spirit of wonder and gratitude. That posture of thankfulness draws you closer to me, increasing your awareness of my hand at work. As you grow in gratitude, let it shape your prayers. Rather than focusing solely on your requests, take time to say, thank you. Praise lifts your eyes above your circumstances and sets them on my unwavering love. It also reminds you that every good gift, every moment of relief, and every spark of hope ultimately originates in me. This practice doesn't ignore the hardships you face. It simply places them in the correct perspective. Your troubles, while significant, pale in comparison to my limitless power and grace. By training your mind to recognize my blessings, you strengthen the bond between us. You start to see life through a lens of possibility, rather than one clouded by defeat. Let this perspective fill you with anticipation for the ultimate renewal. Yes, you live in a physical world with daily struggles that cannot be overlooked. You might have to work hard, face illness, or deal with relationships that challenge you. But remember that these hardships are temporary. When the final day of renewal arrives, everything burdened by decay will be lifted into unimaginable splendor. I want you to hold tightly to that hope, allowing it to nourish your soul in times of difficulty. It's not a fantasy or an empty promise. It's the anchor I extend to you in a tumultuous sea. Grasp it, and do not let the shifting waves of current events or personal setbacks cause you to drift away from it. This promise of complete renewal reflects my heart for you. My desire is that you experience abundant life, free from fear and regret. Take comfort in knowing that I see your potential even when you feel stuck in your limitations. When you feel frustrated because you can't move past certain struggles, think about how I see your journey. I see the moments you choose love over hate, the times you resist the pull of anger and instead opt for patience, and the days you cling to hope when pessimism beckons. Each of these choices reflects my character in you. Over time, these small acts of faithfulness accumulate and shape you into a person who mirrors the radiance of my grace more and more. I also understand that trusting in renewal can be scary. You might wonder if you will be let down or if you've misunderstood my promises. You might worry that your own failures disqualify you from the blessing I offer. Hear this clearly. My renewal is for those who recognize they cannot fix themselves. It is not for people who claim to have it all together. Rather, it is for those who are humble enough to admit they need help, who turn their faces toward me in acknowledgement of their need. Your mistakes and imperfections do not repel my love. They are, in fact, the very reason I reach out to you so persistently. Let go of the lie that you must be perfect before you can walk closely with me. In truth, walking closely with me is the path to becoming the version of yourself I designed you to be. Embrace this process of transformation day by day. You don't have to see immediate results. Trust grows in the soil of patience and consistency. Each time you choose to set aside your worries and dwell on my goodness, you nourish the seed of faith I've planted in you. Each time you lift a quiet prayer of trust instead of dwelling on your fears, you cultivate a garden of spiritual resilience. Over time, you will look back and see how much has changed within you. How kindness, love, and gentleness have taken deeper root. This personal renewal is a foretaste of the grand transformation that awaits creation. In moments of desperation, when you feel like everything is closing in and you can't see a way forward, remember that my plan encompasses your future. The circumstances that appear hopeless are not the final word. I excel in turning impossibilities into testimonies of my grace. Where you see only dead ends, I see opportunities for you to witness my power. Sometimes the darkest night is followed by the brightest sunrise. If you are willing to let go of your fears and invite my guidance, you will find that I provide creative solutions or comfort in ways you never could have predicted. These experiences become milestones, reminding you that my renewal is not just a promise for the far-off future, but an active reality at work even now. Part of the journey involves surrender. You cannot effectively embrace the new if you cling stubbornly to the old. Surrendering your worries, your regrets, and your need for control can be challenging, but it is a necessary step in welcoming the abundant life I have for you. This doesn't mean you become passive or irresponsible. On the contrary, by surrendering your limited perspective, you open yourself to my unlimited wisdom. You begin to recognize that I can do more with your trust than you can accomplish through anxious striving. You become receptive to insights and guidance that will light your path in surprising ways. Trust also paves the way for deeper intimacy with me. When you lay down your defenses, you open your heart to my voice, which speaks through quiet whispers rather than deafening shouts. In the still moments, I remind you of your worth, your purpose, and the love I have poured out for you. I speak encouragement and perspective into your struggles. I highlight the lessons hidden in your challenges, turning them into stepping stones that lead you closer to me. This is the difference between knowing about me and truly knowing me. When you trust me enough to listen and follow, you experience the closeness your soul has always desired. Consider how this renewal might change your relationships. As I transform your heart, you gain the ability to forgive more freely, to extend grace where you once held grudges, and to show patience in situations that used to test your limits. Renewed people help renew other people. Through your life, others can see a reflection of hope that might have felt unreachable. You become an invitation for them to step into the same promise of transformation. This is how my renewal ripples through communities, families, and even entire societies, one heart at a time, awakened to the possibility of love, overcoming darkness. Whenever you feel discouraged, look back at the times in your life when you experienced breakthroughs or unexpected blessings. See how your heart has expanded through both triumphs and trials. If you have overcome a past fear, let that remind you that no fear is insurmountable. If you have witnessed a sliver of beauty in a bleak circumstance, let that rekindle your certainty that light can and does pierce the darkness. The memory of past faithfulness fuels your present trust, providing you with endurance when the next wave of challenges approaches. And remember, every season of your life, both the bitter and the sweet, can serve as a building block in your character, shaping you for a future that is bright with promise. My promise to make everything new stands as a testament to my love and faithfulness. Even if at times you wrestle with doubt, know that I do not condemn you for your questions or fears. I welcome your honest heart, your struggles, and your insecurities. I know how heavy the burdens of this life can be, and I see the bruises on your spirit. Still, I call you to rest in the knowledge that I will not leave you in brokenness. I will not abandon you to the chaos of a world riddled with pain. Day by day, hour by hour, you are moving toward a reality where pain ceases to exist and every wound is healed. Let that promise transform your perspective right now, in this moment. If you ever feel unworthy of such renewal, remind yourself that my love is a gift, not a reward. I offer it freely and you do not have to earn it. By embracing this love, you allow yourself to be held in an embrace that transcends human limitations. This love is the source of the healing and renewal you crave. It lifts you out of the cycle of striving and opens your eyes to the wonder of a life guided by hope. Each day lived in this awareness becomes a celebration, a dance of trust that we share together. Consider also how worship shapes your heart. Worship is not confined to a building or a particular style of music. It is the act of directing your deepest devotion toward me. When you worship, you affirm that I hold the highest place in your heart. This act of adoration reorients your priorities, shifting your gaze away from lesser idols. True worship breathes life into your spirit and aligns you with my purposes. By focusing your adoration on me, you find clarity about what truly matters. This clarity liberates you from the chains of meaningless pursuits and harmful attachments, giving you the space to grow in the freedom I designed for you. In that space of worship, you can also surrender the burdens of self-focus. Instead of worrying about how others perceive you or how well you measure up to worldly standards, you allow your heart to be filled with the knowledge of my infinite care. This breaks down the walls of insecurity and pride, replacing them with humility and confidence. Humility because you recognize your need for my grace, and confidence because you trust I will not withhold it from you. This balanced posture prepares you to love others without fear, to serve without hidden motives, and to give generously of yourself. Let me speak to the moments when you fail, for they will come. You might slip back into old patterns of worry or let anger control your words. You may stumble into doubt when life's storms rage with ferocity. In these moments, my arms remain open. I do not turn away from you in disgust or disappointment. Rather, I invite you to turn back to me, to receive forgiveness and the courage to begin anew. This cycle of falling and rising again is part of the refining process. Each time you return, you grow wiser and more aware of my mercy. Failures can serve as catalysts for deeper dependence on me, as well as stronger resilience against future temptations. As you continue on this journey, keep your heart open to my voice in the ordinary, everyday events. Sometimes you look for miraculous signs, but often I speak through a gentle nudge, a quiet prompting, or a simple insight that crosses your mind at just the right moment. Pay attention to these subtle clues, for they often guide you in ways that keep you aligned with my loving will. When you sense that you should reach out to someone in need, do not ignore it. When a passage of truth stirs your heart, ponder it and let it shape your thinking. These small acts of obedience strengthen our bond and pave the way for greater revelations of my presence. Never forget that I desire relationship, not merely adherence to rules. While guidance and moral principles are important, they serve as pathways that draw you closer to my heart. I do not delight in a dry, duty-based approach that lacks connection and joy. I want to walk alongside you, share in your triumphs and sorrows, and watch you grow into the person you were created to be. This relationship is built on trust, love, and mutual communion. You bring your authentic self, your struggles, your joys, your questions, and I bring my eternal perspective, my limitless compassion, and my promise of renewal. Allow these words to sink in. Remember the invitation to worship me by setting your mind on what is most important. Let the reassurance that I am making everything new Be the light that brightens your darkest days. If you ever feel overwhelmed, return to these truths. You are seen, you are loved, and there is a magnificent future in store for you. Though you walk through a world that often seems to be unraveling, you do not journey without hope. My presence goes with you every step of the way, and my plan for your life is woven into a grand purpose that leads to a joyful renewal of all things. Do you notice how even these reflections can bring a sense of calm? That is the peace I offer you, a peace that stands firm even when storms rage. Embrace it, let it soften your anxieties, and allow it to fill you with quiet confidence. Each day is another opportunity to live in communion with me, to witness the small wonders of life, and to remember that the narrative of existence doesn't end in destruction. Beyond the horizon lies a timeless realm where my promise of renewal becomes a tangible reality, filling every moment with unending joy, love, and purpose. As you finish reading these words, take a moment to rest in my presence. Feel the anxieties and fears loosen their grip on your heart. Breathe in the assurance that you are cherished beyond measure. And know, with unwavering confidence, that no matter what challenges arise, you are steadily moving toward the radiant day when I make all things completely, gloriously new. Your part is to trust, to worship, and to remain open to my transforming power in your daily life. As you do so, you will find that even now, in the midst of an imperfect world, you can experience the first fruits of that coming day, a foretaste of the beauty, peace, and joy that I have prepared for you. Let this hope anchor your soul and guide your steps, for I have promised that you will not journey alone, and I never fail to keep my word. Amen.